What's going on, Jeromes? So we are now officially, mercifully, less than a month away from the 2024 NFL Draft, and BS season is officially here, man. And not gonna lie, like once you realize to believe half of what you see and none of what you hear, life gets a lot easier. But I just love the games that get played this time of year, man. And you don't know what to believe, and you got to be very careful about the reports confirming your biases, like your preconceived biases, where all the talk about. So I, for one, amen on JJ McCarthy. I see the traits, I see the leadership, you see his projection. I think that he has a chance to be a very good NFL quarterback, especially if and when he falls into the right system, which would be right here in the great state of Minnesota with the Vikings, right? So all the talk yesterday about JJ McCarthy potentially even being the number two overall pick to the commies. Yeah, I want to believe it because obviously it backs up my biases, right? And what it probably is a complete BS, complete smokescreen right now because, frankly, with the Bears taking Williams at 1, why did the commies have to play games, right? And all the consent. So the report started from Pelissero, asking around what other executives think that Washington's going to do, and the near consensus is that they think that Washington is going to go with JJ McCarthy at 2. Now, is Washington a new GM Adam Peters, is new head coach Dan Quinn? Are they leaking that around at the league meetings down in scenic Orlando? I don't know why it would benefit them, because if Williams is locked in at 1, you basically have your choice of the board. You could say that you're going to take Earl Boykins at number 2. If you know who Earl Boykins is, I love you. Pride of Eastern Michigan. Let's go, baby. Eastern Michigan, Charlie Batch and Max Crosby. Let's go. Good times, man. But the whole thing about it is, hey, if they're really in on McCarthy, like, why even spread that out? That's why always when someone is talking, always think about why they're lying to you. And not just in sports journalism, but also in life. Especially with, I don't know, like significant others. Who knows? Who knows, man? But the whole thing about it is that with the commies, would it benefit them from just leaking that out? Dan Quinn, Adam Peters at these meetings. Hey, you know who we really like? JJ McCarthy. And of course, if JJ McCarthy is the guy that the Vikings doing their due diligence, McCarthy did a private workout, and also McCown was there at his pro day. Udinski was there too, as well as Drake Maye, Jaden Daniels. If they deem that JJ McCarthy is the guy, and if they could potentially get McCarthy at 4 or 5, I mean, that's great. But if the commies do indeed want to move down, and they're not really as high on some of these other quarterbacks as some of these other teams are, and they want number 11 and they want 23 from the Vikings, maybe it makes sense to sort of leak that out there and trying to make a market, even though there's really only one team doing the bidding. It's a possibility, man. But also, I don't think that this is a Will Levis situation, because Will Levis last year, it was really a media-driven creation, or it's like, oh, sources say blah, 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 blah. But with McCarthy, I mean, just from the AFC coaches breakfast, you had Harbaugh, who obviously has a vested interest with McCarthy, and it's obviously a little biased. But you had stupid-ass Sean Payton, Broncos at 12, speaking very highly about J.J. McCarthy. They had a private workout with him as well. Antonio Pierce of the Raiders, who are at 13, also spoke extremely highly about J.J. McCarthy, calling him a top 3 pick. So those are guys who basically have no skin in the game, right? They're probably not going to be able to trade into the top 3. McCarthy's probably going to be long gone. So I mean, there isn't really a lot of angle or games with them talking highly about McCarthy. So I think that the McCarthy steam is real. And with Will Levis last year, like, I don't really remember any coaches just putting it on the table. It's like, yeah, Will Levis is our guy over C.J. Stroud and Richardson and that the 4-foot Bryce Young. Good times. No, don't see that. But I remember Pete Prisco. Speaking of 4-foot high, Pete Prisco of CBS Sports was the one really banging the drum for Will Levis. And when Levis had that random 4-touchdown game, he was taking a victory lap, and then Levis had to play the rest of his games. Yeah. But I think the McCarthy hype is real, but everything is cyclical. Like, you're going to see some hype around Daniels eventually. You're going to see a lot of hype around Drake Maye eventually. And also, I feel like the assassination of Drake Maye, like the hit pieces put on him, it's like, oh, Drake Maye, here's a compilation of Drake Maye throwing bad passes, 1 minute long, blah, blah, blah. I feel like that's a coordinated, concerted effort. I feel like that's an AstroTurf job by some team that is really interested in Drake Maye. Just like the whole thing about Teddy, back in 2014. Oh, he's got skinny knees. I actually, my number one conspiracy theory is that the Vikings actually put that out. Whether it's coming from the top from Spielman or a scout or whatever, just put, oh, we're concerned that he has skinny knees. But then that came home to bite us square in the ass in 2016. But I digress there. But like I said, it is a fun time of year because everyone's lying. Everyone's lying. And as we said, like the NFL insiders do great work, except they're not investigative reporters. They're not getting the inside dirt or scoop or whatever. Like they're getting fed information that is being leaked for a reason. Like everyone who leaks information has an agenda attached to it, but it's entertaining. It is. And I know that people get fatigued about it. Maybe myself as well sometimes too, but it's a hell of a lot of fun. And besides, what else are we going to talk about? Shohei Ohtani, how, hey, his translator, hey, $4.5 million on the over. Now, it can happen, man. Like, is it possible he's done? Who knows? Who knows, man? But yeah, the hype around draft season certainly is not done. And also, this is what's great. No matter how the draft ends up, I mean, the Vikings can end up with Drake Maye or Jaden Daniels or J.J. McCarthy or Michael Penix or Bo Nix or Spencer Rattler or Michael Pratt or Jordan Travis or Sam Hartman. And they'll be like, that was our number one guy on the board. Without fail. It's great. But that's it. Raw Row Rant, the McCarthy Hype. You know what to do. Skull, no production value.